Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into the legendary, multifaceted, and often polarizing career of Christopher Henry Gayle. We're going to explore the life of a man who literally rose from the dusty streets of Kingston to become a massive global cricketing icon, a guy universally known to fans as the universe boss. Now, whether you view him as this boundary-clearing, franchise-hopping mercenary or as a somewhat misunderstood batting genius, you really can't deny his impact. His fingerprint on modern cricket is absolutely indelible.
So right off the bat, we're faced with a fascinating paradox that perfectly captures his complex reality. I mean, think about it for a second. How does the undisputed greatest T20 power hitter of our entire era also possess the grueling marathon patience required to bat for 11 straight hours just to save a test match? And then, how does that exact same man later casually claim he wouldn't even be sad if test cricket completely died out? It sounds contradictory, right? Well, that is the enigma of Chris Gayle, and it's exactly what we are going to decode today.
Section 1. The Universe Boss Arrives. From the streets of Kingston to global stardom.
Growing up in a pretty modest household in Kingston, Jamaica, Gayle was the fourth of 6 siblings. Resources were incredibly tight. So much so, he actually started out playing street cricket using whatever he could find. Makeshift bats, rolled up rags, sometimes even fruit. His father was pulling extra hours just to afford basic cricket gear for him. But here's the turning point. He found a home at the Lucas Cricket Club, which is one of Jamaica's oldest and most respected institutions. That's where his incredibly unpolished, freewheeling street style was actually nurtured rather than suppressed. Even back then, while other kids were busy perfectly copying the textbook techniques of players like Brian Lara or Sachin Tendulkar, Gayle was just different. He didn't want to look elegant. He wanted to hit sixes. He wanted to absolutely dominate the bowler from ball one.
And that dominance lasted for an astonishingly long time. His career span is just mind-boggling, over 2 decades at the absolute highest levels of international competition. He stepped onto the international stage as a fresh-faced 19-year-old against India in September of 1999 and played all the way to his last T20 international against Australia in late 2021. He didn't just witness the evolution of modern cricket, he actively drove it. Surviving at the top level for 22 years is a staggering achievement in both physical and mental endurance. I mean, especially when you consider he was an opening batsman, literally targeted by the world's fastest, most intimidating bowlers right from the very first ball of the innings.
Section 2. Redefining the modern game. The dual nature of an undisputed king.
The sheer contrast in his play style is what makes him so unique. On one hand, you have a player who spent nearly 11 exhausting hours grinding out 333 runs against Sri Lanka in Galle, facing almost 12,000 deliveries over his entire test career. That takes immense concentration. But then, flip the coin, and you have the ultimate T20 wrecking ball. During the 2013 IPL, playing for Royal Challengers Bangalore, he smashed a scarcely believable 175 not out off just 66 balls. That innings included the fastest century in all of cricket history, reached in a mere 30 deliveries. He completely redefined the geometry of a cricket field that day. Bowlers simply had nowhere to hide.
When it comes to clearing the ropes, he is the undisputed, absolute king of maximums. Being the only player in the entire history of the sport to surpass 1,000 T20 sixes is a permanent monument to his unrivaled power. He sits at 1,056 sixes. To put that into perspective, the next closest legends are Kieran Pollard at 890 and Andre Russell at 712. That's not just beating a record, that is totally obliterating it. Gayle literally forced opposing captains to rethink their field placements and bowling strategies from scratch. Because with him, even perfectly executed good-length deliveries were routinely sent flying into the upper tiers of the grandstand.
Section 3. Expert Analysis and Mechanics. Feedback from modern scholars of the game.
So, how did he actually do it? This observation by cricket journalist Sharda Ugra beautifully captures his unmatched ability to turn even the best deliveries into boundary balls. She noted how he could face more than half the balls bowled and essentially produce a compressed 20-over highlights package all by himself. Traditionalists, they always pointed out his lack of classical footwork. But here's the thing. When your hand-eye coordination is resting in the top 0.001% of human capability, you don't really need to move your feet much. He relied heavily on keeping an incredibly still head and unleashing a devastatingly powerful swing, which effectively changed the whole paradigm for modern opening batters.
Wisden hits the nail on the head here, pointing out his imposing physical presence. Standing well over 6 feet tall, his unique timing easily compensated for that famous lack of traditional foot movement. He could carve through the covers off either foot, destroying the economy rates of the thriftiest bowlers in the world. Interestingly, Gayle himself actually attributed this incredible timing to being very thin when he was younger. Because he lacked brute muscle early on, he was forced to learn how to wield a massive, heavy bat purely through leverage and perfect timing.
And the mechanics go even deeper into his mindset. Despite looking incredibly relaxed, almost nonchalant or lazy at the crease, there was an intense, highly calculated internal focus happening right before he struck the ball. He actually admitted that when a fast bowler is running in, he deliberately slows down his breathing. Sometimes he literally holds his breath as the bowler delivers just to ensure absolute stillness and perfect balance. He realized early in his career that if he let the adrenaline take over, he'd lose focus and make mistakes. So this zen-like stillness right before the storm is a massive hidden part of the Universe Boss methodology.
Section 4. Unprecedented Milestones and Records. A career written in massive numbers.
His highly aggressive methods didn't just look good, they translated into a historic trifecta across all three formats of the game. Let's look at the company he keeps. He is in an ultra-elite club of just 4 players in history, alongside Don Bradman, Brian Lara, and Virendra Sehwag, to score 2 Test triple centuries. Add to that the first ever double century in an ODI World Cup, which he smashed against Zimbabwe in 2015. And, of course, the very first T20 international century against South Africa back in 2007. No other cricketer in the history of the sport has achieved this specific combination of milestones across Test, ODI, and T20 international cricket. Period. Racking up over 19,000 international runs demands a frankly incredible level of consistency and mental fortitude over a grueling 2-decade span. Look, it's really easy to get caught up in the T20 fireworks and forget the foundation. He scored over 7,200 runs in test matches at an average above 42, and he piled up over 10,400 runs in one-day internationals. He wasn't just a flash in the pan who came in for a quick buck. He was a foundational pillar of West Indies cricket for a very, very long time. But when franchise cricket did take off, oh man, did he own it. His peak years show how he effectively revolutionized the T20 format, becoming this traveling attraction who practically guaranteed massive crowds and massive run totals. Between 2011 and 2015, Gayle was easily the most sought-after T20 asset on the planet. Just look at 2012 alone. He scored over 1,500 runs at a strike rate approaching 164. He wasn't just playing for the West Indies anymore, he became a one-man global brand, lighting up leagues in India, Australia, Bangladesh, the Caribbean, and anywhere else that would have him.
Section 5. Controversies and off-field life. The complexities of the Universe Boss.
Now, we have to look at this objectively, because his career was definitely not without turbulence. He was a figure who frequently found himself at odds with both cricket administrators and media standards. His relationship with the West Indies Cricket Board was notoriously rocky, often resulting in these prolonged periods where he was completely exiled from the national team. In 2009, he really struck a nerve with cricket traditionalists by suggesting he wouldn't mind if Test cricket faded away. He later said he was misunderstood, but the comment drew sharp criticism from legends like Viv Richards. And, of course, there was the highly publicized 2016 live television interview with reporter Mel McLaughlin. His inappropriate comments there resulted in a $10,000 fine and ignited a massive global conversation about professionalism, gender, and respect in sports media.
Following up on his public image, 2017 brought a very significant off-field moment. Gayle successfully won a highly publicized defamation case against Fairfax Media. They had printed some serious allegations regarding his conduct during the 2015 World Cup. Gayle took the matter straight to court and won the lawsuit, fiercely demonstrating that behind this carefree, partying exterior, he was a man who took his reputation and his public standing very, very seriously.
Beyond the controversies, he really leveraged that universe boss persona to build businesses, explore his passions, and importantly, give back. In 2015, he established the Chris Gayle Academy to help disadvantaged youth in both Jamaica and the UK improve their lives through personal development and sports. He leaned hard into his love for music, launching a dancehall career with tracks like Jamaica to India. He even opened a popular sports bar in Kingston named Triple Century and published his autobiography, Six Machine, which gives some fantastic insight into the actual man behind the myth.
Section 6. 5 Pillars of a Legend. Summarizing the impact of Christopher Henry Gayle.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, let's distill this massive, sprawling legacy into 5 key pillars. First, his unprecedented power. He stands completely alone on the mountain of T20 6-hitters with over 1,000 maximums. Second, his elite versatility, locking down those historic milestones across Tests, ODIs, and T20s that no one else has ever matched. Third, he was a defiant opener, pairing an unconventional footwork light technique with just unbelievable hand-eye coordination and mental staying power.
Fourth, his unapologetic persona. He made himself a global brand, a true entertainer who challenged the traditional, conservative norms of the sport, for better or worse. And finally, his philanthropic legacy, ensuring that the ladder is left down for the next generation of youth looking for a way out through his academy.
I want to leave you with this final thought to ponder. The game of cricket is constantly changing. It's evolving faster than ever. But the blueprint left behind by Christopher Henry Gayle is entirely unique. As new formats emerge and new players step up, can anyone ever truly replicate the sheer, intimidating aura and the mathematical dominance of the universe, boss? Thank you for joining me for this explainer on a truly unique sporting phenomenon.